I'm finally live for the first time, and I thought from a lot of inspiration from some other channels, art channels, I would give it a try today. So welcome to All My Art and Soul. I'm Michelle Holden, the artist behind the channel, and I think for these next series of videos for explore, play, and discover. This is what we're going to be doing, and I'm really excited. So it's really funny. As I was trying to figure out landscape mode for my recording, and I don't even know if I did, it just suddenly happened. I don't know. I figured it out, watched a few videos, and of course my paint sort of dried. But that is okay, because today is going to be, I'm just sort of getting the shadows out of there. There we go. Today is going to be all about creating collage paper. So while I'm talking here, I'm going to go to my channel and go to my live and just see comments. And I don't know what mode it's in, but I'm just going to just accept what it is, and let's see. So hello out there, if anyone's out there. This was very impromptu, and I'm going to turn the sound down because there is a delay. And I'm just going to see if there's going to be any chats, if anybody's out there on a Sunday. So if you haven't already, you can hop over to my Facebook group. As you can see, I'm just setting on up here. And I don't know if this portrait mode, landscape mode, right now, it's on my phone, it's in landscape mode, but on the live, or at least, it's going to be the other way. And that's okay. I'll figure it out. I just didn't want to delay it any longer. And let's see if there's some chat here. I'm so new at this live, and I've been doing a lot of research as well. Mirroring another device, hooking the phone into the desktop, and all of that kind of thing. But, you know, these things take time. So it's just going to be a short video for today. And what I've been working on is these coffee filter paper. I've been working also on multi-layers of collage paper. And that's sort of going to be the focus, or it's going to be the focus, not sort of the focus. And using some stencils and taking the ghost prints, the one at the end, if you're not familiar with that, and just layering on more stencils that just need more, and it's just letting it happen. And those, I will show you the stack, are right here. So high contrast with more layers on top would, I'm predicting, eventually become sort of shadows in the background. Anyway, they'll be pushed back depending on the value of the paint that you're using. So there's some bright orange. There's two slightly different values already. And the whole purpose of this next series of videos is explore, play, and discover. So let's see. So this is a very subtle contrast. In an upcoming video, which is coming, I will show you and be exploring more with the coffee filter papers, and just see what I can get out of them. Why I want to use them is that they're somewhat transparent once you start layering them on your substrate. So I'm going to see just how transparent they are and how much of a contrast is needed from the layer below. So off camera, I just made this quick background. This background is made from Liquitex fluid paints. So we've got cerulean, turquoise, and light blue permanent. And I've got some raw umber here, black and white, and of course, the neutrals. So after we make some collage papers and build more layers on some other collage papers that I know I would like, then I'm going to just do a quick demonstration, just a test for me and for you, subscribers out there, artists out there, the wonderful art community that you are, just how transparent these are and what you can see or not underneath. And this is all for, as I've been saying, summer is approaching. I'm almost done my teaching, and I can dedicate a lot of time to this work. I cannot wait. And of course, white. This is your Liquitex white fluid, and I'll want some drips as well. So as I get exploring and do this on larger canvases, which are in my studio, and I'll be showing you all sorts of things. Set up my cabin. I'm going to have an art journaling station there, and it's going to be quite fun. So, looking forward to that. Let's put on, I'm just going to show you what I did with this. So as you can see, it's a very subtle contrast. And what I did to create these, which is next week's video, so come on back, I put them down in a, just on a surface, spritz them with water, the actual coffee filter, which is just your standard, and then it just, all of it, and it's, when you're spreading it out, it gets rid of all the lines, which I really want. You can put a lot of water on it, a minimal amount of water. You can use inks, and I've got an ink order coming, and I'm really looking forward to some really bright colors, which is a whole separate kind of series, and just using marks and coffee paper filter with this one series. So it's going to be super bright. But until then, I'm wanting subtle values, and I want to use, I need enough neutral and blue. Two separate kinds of work that I'm working on. So I'll just quickly show you this. This is just some blue, just I laid it on the tray, which is any kind of tray, and put it in there and just used a brush, took it out and let it dry on a towel. It needs a really an absorbing surface. Wow, I can't talk today. Anyway, that's okay. So let's, as everything dried up while I was researching before I hopped on, and now I've got a sideways video, I see, but you know what? Like I said, I'm not waiting anymore. We are just doing what we do. Now, of course, I'm being careful with this point because it's my jelly plate printer, but I just want a little bit of black to create more of a grungier surface. Just, I don't know, it might not. That's what I'm looking for. So we've got, and I'm trying to see my comments. Don't see any yet. Oh, there we go. There's some comments. Anybody there? Live chat. Sorry, I'm just taking a minute to do this. All right. Okay, well, nobody's there. Hannah, I'm here with you. Yay! All right. Let's see. Avanel. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name, but I do have, and on the channel, some wonderful regulars who comment. Oh, here we go. Yay. Okay, so why is it showing up on my phone? It just popped up there. This is such a learning experience. I love it. Oh, okay, Dr. Jones, good morning. Good morning to everybody. This is wonderful. Okay. I'll put it back out of the way and then we'll get back to some creating. I'm really liking the live idea as I'm becoming more comfortable with this particular process, and it's great. But before this dries up, we better put something on here. So I'm looking for, I'll use the same one again. These are bought stencils, Amazon, I believe. Something that will leave a lot of space where I don't want the paint to go because I want the transparency to still show up. So, and these are round and they can throw you off, but they tear, which I'll show you with some other pieces, very easily. And they leave such a nice edge. So, I don't think it matters which side you choose. So, and I made this a little darker so you could see. Oh yeah, that's way better. So, still neutral with some dark, but now I'm, and now I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to put some of the dark and overlap on this one. And while we're working on some others, these will dry, and then we'll come back to them, and I'll show you how they tear. Okay. So this is really cool. So this is a combination of raw umber. No, it's black. It's black. So with this other neutral, it'll show up on the green end of neutral. So you may or may not want that. So we'll keep that in mind. Okay. And now we lift this off to get our ghost print and use another piece of previously created collage paper. This is done by hand in a fan brush, which I don't have available right now, but any kind of bristle brush can make some really nice wavy lines. And I'm discovering that I'm really liking organic marks. Maybe contrasted once in a while with that commercial feel. I see some more people are joining, so I'm going to stop and say hi. So, as you can see, the layers are building. And this could even have another 2 or 3 layers on it. And then you could stain it whole with a very transparent paint and let it dry before using it with your artwork. That's what I'm planning on doing. So I'll put that to the side. And hello. Let's see. Here we go. We have Valta. Nice to see you, or welcome. Virtually see you. That's cool. All right. Nice. It's nice that we're not here alone, but we never are we? No. Okay. That's awesome. So, okay, next. Oh, I think I want to try black. So I'm just going to go. I just had a light plan today. I've been intending to do this for a while, just not live, and I'm loving the live. How about you? Please leave a comment. Liking the live versus the pre-recorded, but of course, pre-recorded is really good. And I am doing this for a reason, because I am going to be developing some courses with a lot of not seen yet artwork, the series that I keep talking about, of course. And let's see. I want a grungy feel here. And using that I keep talking about, explore, play, discover, what if I did this? Now, I know there's different ways, and I've watched several videos on how to create the grunge look or feel. I call it more of a feel on a jelly plate. But I need to, off camera, of course, do some more exploring on my own and not record, which is, believe me, when you have a YouTube channel, it's a nice break. So, yeah, I'm liking the view, liking the light. I don't like the sideways thing, but, you know, sorry about that. I'll fix that. Okay, so these are just pentagon shapes. And I think they'll look really cool with this one. So this was created with sort of a metallic, and I'm finding the metallic paints, and even if you add a metallic, I'm going to go off cam and get it. Hang on. I can't find it, but I remember the name. This is just a yellow oxide, but it's in a tube like this, and it's called a mirror. And it's really, so you can make any paint metallic by adding some of that. So the mystery, to me, just as much it is to you, is how am I going to use these? Oh, wow. That's really cool. Now, the question is, how much of the, see how you can see the shadow of my hand under there? It'll probably need some high black and white, but what a great next layer to use. Here's a piece that all I did was sprinkle with watered down acrylic paint. You can use fluid paint, add a little bit of water to it, or airbrush fluid, or another different medium. Different artists have different philosophies around adding water, but since it's water soluble, why not? Yes, it'll probably fade it a bit, but we're using it as a collage. Okay, and I like this non-touch, so you can have choice. You can use this, and you can use this for a piece. And what I've been observing a lot lately, if you haven't, if you have, I can't talk today. I love it. I was creating my pieces in these large sheets or larger sheets, and I've seen other artists just grab a selection of beautiful collage pieces and then hand make marks over them and then use those whole or cut them down. And they're just about like this big or this big, but you have way more variety, smaller amounts, but it depends on the scale that you're working, which is really cool. Now let's use a similar one. Same brush, different marks. Any bristle brush will do this. And I'm going to talk about the advantages of using repetition with your mark making and keeping it extremely simple. Simple in color palette and simple in the actual shape or mark. For example, using just dots or using dashes. Using dashes in different ways, horizontal, all of those elemental differences, like, as I've said, horizontal, vertical, spread apart, a slight wave, clusters, and it's incredible what you can come up with but the cohesion that it creates with your artwork is exactly what I've been looking for. I don't know about you. Why don't we leave some comments, subscribers that are here? And I would also love to hear where everyone is from globally. This is such a wonderful art community because where I live, it's a very small town, Ontario, and there's not a lot of artists here, nor in the big towns, not doing the kind of work that I do anyway. I love abstraction. Now, isn't this interesting how the shadows are building up? So I think I'm going to leave it solid. And I'm going to see what happens with this. Since there's a larger black marks, wider, and I'm just going to keep building. Okay. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Everything practically disappeared, but I really like the shadowy marks that it made. It's a really nice medium dark neutral. Definitely usable. I think we'll lift some more. Okay. Interesting. So picked up similar direction of the marks, but leaving a little bit of negative space, which with a very transparent, where is that? I'll get it. This is a beautiful quinacridone gold. So let's put some on here. And a little goes a long way. This is unmixed, so you can see how transparent it is. So we'll probably get a couple out of this. And I know I've been going on. Let's see what happens also to the coffee filter paper. I think I'm going to use a stencil. I think I'm going to use circles. Okay. So let's use the other side of this neutral, and I'm going to use small because I just intuitively think that the smaller scale is better. Oh, wow. So more of an orange, which is closer to that hue that's on there, looks better than that. So I'm going to continue. I like it better. So let's see if we just put that over top. Very good. And what is really good about this is that it's similar in transparency. So it's not going to be so opaque to not allow any layers underneath from not showing. Okay. So let's use the rest. That's very interesting. Okay. Let's use the ghost print on this piece. I've been building this up. I love it. Need to make more. That's sort of my point for this video. It's great to have lots of collage paper, but if it's not the collage paper you're looking for, now you see how you can see, I don't know know how well you can. Yeah, you can. There's the original, then the other ghost print, and this one on top. So it's, I think this is ready to use. There's enough richness, and I don't want to cover. And you see how there's different black, it's sort of grungy looking. I love it. So if you want that effect, don't clean off your jelly plate. Okay. Oh, let's move on. So let's look at our neutrals. So there's that one, that one, that one. Yes, these are much, much better. Okay. Now, but you might also want to try, you might like just a solid coffee plate, coffee paper collage, sorry. And I'm going to make those, so stay tuned for those for next week. Okay, so let's work with some blue. And we'll use some different stencils. I love the 3-part stencil. I also love the hexagon. And these are good because you can get a combination, especially if you only need little pieces. This is my other really super favorite, so I'm going to put that on top. All right. Let's use some white. Let's see what the white will pick up. Now, this is a fluid. This is a fluid. Might not be the best for the jelly plate, but I'm just wanting to see a really thin layer. And I wanted the nickel azo to blend in with the white because, as you can see, it makes a lovely off-white neutral. Wow, love it, love it. And hopefully some of that black will pick up underneath. Okay, so it's a very thin layer on there. I'm gonna do this. I think we'll do, let's see, no, too bright. This needs to happen. Take a break from the coffee filter. We'll build up some more layers on our regular printing paper. Actually, this is laser paper. And then there's print copy paper, which is a little better. Oh, wow. I love that. Look at that. So you can see the previous layer. It's a high contrast, but it's a neutral. This would look great on some neutral along with those other papers. So let's see what the ghost print's gonna look like on something a little bright that has some shadows. Let's see what it will look like. I love the ghost prints. They turn out really cool, usually. Okay, so that brought the brightness down. Still that warmness, and you get that subtle texture. Really love that. Okay, let's do some more. Let's use this. And we are at 29 minutes already on our live. So I would love to hear, oh, Arkansas, that's wild. Okay. Anyone else? And you just give a general, and you don't have to. This is just, I just love to see how far our art community is extending. Oh, so there you can see some dried pieces. And I think, yeah, let's do that. And I want to use the same one. That's another stencil in this pile that will get as far with before we end this wonderful live stream. Okay. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's okay. It's still very bright for me, but you never know, like using just a little section, just for that accent color, that hero color, it might work out. Especially against something that's less, the hue is more subtle. Pretty cool. Okay. Orange County, California. You should have a workshop here. Yeah, wouldn't I love to? Been through California, though, back in the day. We used to do a couple of loops. I was back in I call it my vagabond days, when we used to travel in our van. And it was a blast. We went through, actually, we ended up staying in Santa Barbara, of all places, but it was a great place to stay. And then up to BC. It was amazing. So look how it picked up all the previous layers, and you've got this mix of this wonderful texture. So nice. So we call this visual texture, and then there's physical texture. I think we'll do a couple more. Thank you very much for commenting, people who are here. Was there anything in particular of collage making with the jelly plate that I might have that you want me to demonstrate? Just leave a comment. Okay, I don't think we've used this yet or this yet. So let's do that. And we're going to use them with the blue. So let's go, whoa, let's go, oh, I didn't shake it up. I just love, and I'm going to take that off, but we want it to be grungy. This is the cerulean. I know we have to pronounce these things properly, I guess. All right. Let's see what happens with the coffee filter paper, which I put marks on with the good old Posca markers. Okay, I'm just going to do the whole thing. Actually, no, let's do a half so I can do two of them. Oh, and we want to do this side. Does it even matter? I don't know yet. I haven't even experimented enough with these. That's pretty cool. Depending on what you're going to do with them. You see how the bright is underneath, but it still shows through? So I would make a note of that. I would do more bright underneath or use bright paint or ink and then come over with the dark. So, pretty cool. Now this one would just be like a subtle layer, but let's see. Let's use part of it. I'm really liking it because it's still transparent underneath. I can't wait to give these a try to see what's going to happen. We'll do a quick experiment in a moment, but I just want to do a couple more blue ones. Now, as you know, or some of you might not know, the light blue permanent is way more opaque. So that's the other thing. Choosing colors by opacity will really make a difference if you're creating a batch of transparent or translucent collage papers. So translucency for papers, the best papers would be deli paper, tissue paper, rice paper, tea bag paper, coffee filter paper, tracing paper, anything that, you know, you can see through, and just experiment and play with it. And that's what I'm dedicating my summer to. And I'm so glad I did. I am so glad I did, or I am. So this is going to be lighter over the dark. So let's see what happens. Very subtle. More white in the previous layer showing through would work, but I'm really seeing with the dark, which was that metallic one, it's making the filter paper more transparent. Okay, cool. Let's contrast that hexagon shape with some horizontal line shapes. I've really discovered that it's really important, the type of collage papers that you're using or creating, that have your own voice, colors, mark making characteristics in them. Okay, so this works and yet it doesn't work, and I'll explain. So if the hexagons were lighter value, if I added white, this was much lighter, you would see more of the contrast. But also, since it's more subtle, this might really work in an area of in the blue area without interrupting the composition, because it would just be a low value physical texture or another type of pattern in that area. So it'll work. Just maybe not in the same way. So I'm liking this shape with this. I love this shape. So you would cut out all along. Let me grab my scissors. And I'm going to demonstrate with a part of this. You can cut, because it's hard to tear. And this, you could use part of the shape, tear the other part of the shape, and then this edge, once you put it on with a medium, it melts into the previous layer. It disappears. So it's pretty cool. Interesting. Okay. Let's go with a white. That might be too much. Maybe not. Okay. So it's cooled off a little bit. I'm not going to put more blue on because I really like this light value. Let's see what happens. I'm going to use my next stencil. This is a Stencil Girl stencil. Could be like the streets of Portugal, or, you know, just put in abstract and all sorts of things show up. It's really amazing. I'm going to use this here. Now you can see some of the metallics show up, and I will show you what color that is. It's a Liquitex Basic fluid, and it's iridescent. That's the word I was thinking of, graphite. I bought it because I just grabbed it and thought it was black and didn't see the, it's very small print. When you're rushing around trying to pick out colors. And I love that it was a mistake, but it has some really nice effects. So let's just use that. And I love this piece in using a full 8x10 sheet, of course. But I love the shapes that it makes. Now, you see this one, you see the hexagons, the shapes, the previous layer, and it's lighter. It would also be really effective darker. Let's use this one. I'm really excited to see how this coffee filter paper is going to look on. I plan to use it on canvas on a harder surface, but I will play around with it in a mixed media book. And that layer's dry, so we're going to do that in a minute. Just have a quick demo. This is the metallic again. But that blue, I think it was, I don't know what it was. It's so bright. I'll figure that out, and we'll find out next week. That didn't really do much, but it added some texture. Okay. And let's finish up with a little bit of quinacridone. At least I think I am. Okay. It's so thin. The manganese blue, Payne's gray. There's a whole bunch of colors that I've got to check out again for their transparency. And I think I'll just keep those in a paint bin when I'm creating my collage. And you see how the dried pieces are lifting off? So, oh, and look. See the brayer, this is a great cleaning tool for the jelly plate. Look at that. I would never have known it to use at the end to do all the picking up. Of course, we don't get a print, but that's okay. It saved me a lot of cleaning. And then what I do is I just let this, I don't like to soak it long because I know it'll affect it's metal. I just put it in my thing there. In my water container. Sorry, I need to be more descriptive. And I will scrape that off. So let's see, a quick demo, what these collage papers can do. So here's the bunch I made. I'm going to move these stencils to the side. Here are the regular copy paper, laser printing paper, whatever you have on hand. Newsprint. It's beautiful, but it's very absorbent. I can't say that word today. I don't know what's going on. And as you can see, it fades and changes color like old books do. And so that's that. We'll be using those next time. But I just wanted to test how transparent these are or not on just this page that I whipped up. Now this page was really easily, no thought. I started brushing it half black, left the other white, and then added the similar colors that are also in the collage because I want to reflect that. but in a different way, a different material. I want to express a difference in some way, so where it echoes or has this feeling, but with repetitive marks. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo as to what I might do. It's dry, and I'm just going to use a section. This isn't going to be a page, even though it'll probably turn out really cool. That's just how it seems to go. So some repetitive marks like that. But see, they're more exact. What I like as well is using a very small brush. I can find it. This one isn't that small. And of course, off camera here. Sorry about this video turning. I hope I can rotate it. I'll have to figure all this stuff out. Man, it's just so much to figure out. And you can also do this on your collage papers. So say if I wanted to do that, right on my coffee filter paper. So see how that's really a high contrast. And they're rough, and they're organic, and they're just dashes. You might prefer dots, and you might want to wet your brush a little bit more. Okay, we'll see how that turns out. And you can use similar marks on your collage and also echo the same in a section or a larger section in a high contrast before you cover it, not all of it, with some collage, depending on what you're going for. So here's some physical texture because the paint is thick. I don't like hairy marks, like those things. So I'm going to experiment, and that's the repetition. And I want it to be higher, so I want it thicker, so I want less water, but I'm going to experiment with my brushes. I like dashes, but I don't like hairy dashes. What do you think? Okay, so I'm gonna just slow down here. I know once I get into my mode, look out, it's crazy. So, Hanson, Rule, BN, okay. Orange, okay, Arkansas, okay, not so many people here. And I also took into consideration it's the summertime, at least here, depending on where you're coming from. And I think we need a break. Maybe that's your high creative time. Maybe it's your break time. And so putting in a layer of marks over, look at the difference here. The black, it's pushing this whole entire layer back, but considering the differences in value, there's different things that happen, and I don't even know. I've always had these marks, even in my landscape paintings, for water reflection, but now that I really want to focus on pure elements and abstract elements, but influence from nature, I think color as well, but blue, energetically is really, really calming, and that's what I'm going for, so I can't wait. So we'll just leave that. Oh, no, we'll do one more. Another contrast, we'll do black marks. Let me move scissors out of the road. Okay, so does anyone plan on doing some of their own creativity today? Now I'm not, I would love to hear. Oh, I can't wait. Has anyone, here's a question, I've never asked any on during a video. Has anyone been over to my shop or the Facebook group or my website? Because I'm going to be finally having time to update things and put new work up. Oh, that was the intention many weeks ago, but I just couldn't get there. Okay, see, hairy, don't like those, but that's okay. It's just a dark mark, and I want to see when you adjust. So you need a different, it really depends on your brush. So I need to find some reasonable brushes, not super cheap, but not super expensive. You can adjust. These I've had, as you can see, and I know for a while. Taking care of our brushes is a thing. We need to look after them. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick thing, so cover your ears. Okay, so let's see. So I won't use the neutrals. I'm going to save those for next week's video, which is going to be live. And we'll see what we're going to do these. How do we use these things? So let's just test. Okay, one of these. So now you'll see how it tears. Does it have a direction? Yes. I don't want that. I don't want a circle. I want a section. So sometimes if I know this is going on the edge of the page, which you probably will just for this demonstration, you can cut it straight, you can trim it, but I like a torn edge, as you've seen my work. So we're going to use gloss medium, but not the heavy. This is just the regular. And I think I'm going to put it here on my glass palette. Hang on. And we're just going to see the effects. I'm not creating a piece right now, but I don't like to waste, so I'll put something together. But this is just explore, play, and discover. It's not the final product at all. When we're playing, we're really playing and experimenting. So there we go. I'll use that. And just a small brush to put this more fluid medium on, or even in the area that it's going to go. So I want it on both, the black and the white, because I want to compare the effects of both. So let's do this. Hey. So there it is. See how the edges just melt, depending on what background it's put on. And this works the best. I don't even, now there's a few wrinkles, but we're not getting a lot of bubbles. It spreads easy. I'm adding considerable pressure and smoothing it all out without any tearing. So it's a lot stronger than the deli paper, at least the deli paper that I've used or ordered from Amazon. Let's try another piece. Let's try one with a little more contrast, and I'm just going to rip off a section. And I don't really care about the shape at this point. We're just slapping sections down and testing transparency. Ooh, that's really cool. See how things just turn out anyway? I just love that. Now, the bright orange. How are we liking these effects, everyone? If you're still with me, that's okay. Oh, by the way, since you're here, and I will be announcing it in the comments of this video, I will be doing a weekly live during the week. I haven't decided on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and then I will be uploading the pre-recorded, or, how do you say it? I will be uploading the pre-recorded live version on Sunday to be my official Sunday video for the summer. So it's a great 2-for-1 for me, plus any other short ones. I'm going to be doing some short live videos on Instagram that are going to demonstrate the different explorations of explore, discover, play that I'm doing during the summer. So there'll be lots of notice for that. And okay, this is looking really cool. So now the last little demo, because we're getting a little long here, but that's okay. I want to put just some strong line in, like I usually do, something like that. Okay, that's not what I would do on a piece. This is just a demonstration. I want to make sure it's dry. And we're going to come in with one more. I think I'm going to use this section. Oh, there's a little piece. It's much lighter, right on top, and will slightly overlap. Oh, see, it's smudging. So it wasn't totally dry, but it's the paint that's smudging, I believe. Nope, it is the Posca marker. So you have to be careful with that. And as you can see, if you can, let me know. The marks underneath. And depending on what you've used to stain, I would call this staining the coffee filter paper rather than painting. So we're staining it. Once I get those multiple colored set of inks, they will be acrylic inks, water soluble, and alcohol inks. Work really well. We'll see what happens. So there is a quick demonstration of how to use coffee filter paper as your collage. Keeping in mind, if you're working at a smaller scale, it's even better. But it works at larger scale too. You just need to get away from the circle, or maybe you want half circles. It's just, you know, depending on what you want. But I would stay away from keeping the coffee filter paper in its original shape and just cutting down pieces you need. And let's do one more little piece, just because. So this has some white paint, opaque paint on the top, but look how transparent it is with the marks. So it's great to just add that subtlety. You might even put some objects or something in over text. Over anything that's a high contrast will really show through better. Okay, so I'm not going to reveal. I think I'm going to save this for next week. I will see you in the next video. Please like and share and check out the links in the comment section below, and have a wonderful wonderful explore, play, and discover in your own studio this Sunday.